Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah ma ba'd. The question is asking here, what is the ruling on us having a gathering to mark a particular occasion? So she's basically asking here, in their culture, when a woman begins her menses, when a girl begins her menses, or when a woman finishes her postnatal bleeding, which is the nifas period, and in other cultures that I know of, when a woman finishes her iddah after her husband has passed away, they might have a walima. A walima is a gathering of family and friends where you would, sit together and eat and have a feast. What is the ruling on such walimas? Now, the best answer that I found is from Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymeen, because he breaks it down to three categories. He says, Al-wala'im thalathatu aqsam. Feasts and gatherings of this nature are of one of three categories. So he says, number one, qismun manhiyun an. The first category, which is impermissible for us to have these kind of gatherings, haram category of walima. And he gives an example. So for example, a walima where people gather to wail and remember the deceased. This is not permissible. Such as a gathering where there's going to be mixing between the two genders. Such as a gathering where there's going to be haram and music. Or such as a gathering for an innovated or a haram festival or something like that. So the Shaykh is saying here, the Sharia has made it clear that such gatherings are not permissible. وَقِسْمٌ آخَرٌ مَطْلُوبٌ شَرْعًا. Those things that the Sharia has encouraged for us to gather for, such as the walima for nikah. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says to Abdurrahman ibn Auf, "Awlim walau bishatin." Have a walima, even if it is one sheep. One sheep is not going to feed a lot of people, but he says to Abdurrahman ibn Auf, even if the walima is something which is small, do it, because the Sharia has encouraged it. Such as gathering and and eating for the sake of celebrations on the day of Eid, such as gathering and celebrations for any other thing which has happened in your family. All of these things that the Sharia has encouraged. وَقِسْمٌ هُوَ مَا عَدَى ذَلِكَ. The last one is anything which the Sharia has not given us instruction on or has not left out, meaning it's permissible. It's not said it's halal and it's not said it's haram. So the Shaykh is saying here, فَهُوَ مُبَاح, and then it is permissible. Sheikh Sulaiman al-Majid, one of the scholars that is alive today, may Allah preserve him, he said, فَإِنَّ الْأَصْلُ فِي الْوَلَائِمِ وَأَسْبَابُهَا هُوَ حِلْ وَالْإِبَاحِ. The base ruling on having any kind of walima is that it is permissible. You can gather people and have a meal, and it's permissible. You don't need, religious text to say whether that is permissible or not. So going back to what Ibn Taymiyyah is saying here, such as a woman coming out of her nifas, such as people gathering because of the circumcision that happens in certain cultures. Certain cultures, they have circumcision for the male or the female at a later age, and then they will have a walima for that. Such as, Ibn Taymiyyah is saying, gathering because a person has moved into a new home. All of these things are permissible, inshallah. So to answer to your question here, if a woman has finished the iddah period, if a girl begins her menses, all of these fall under the third category, which is that it is permissible as long as the guidelines of the Sharia are met. And from them, there can't be anything which is haram involved. There can't be anything which involves, israf and extravagance. There can't be mixing between the genders. It can't be something that is going to distract people from establishing the salah, especially in the masjid. And these are some of the guidelines that I'm sure that you are aware of when it comes to walima. So to answer your question, inshallah, this is permissible for a person to do. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He blesses us with beneficial knowledge and that He allows our hearts to come together in the dunya before the akhirah. Wallahu a'lam. Sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad.